pretty much what it is I'm making a documentary about an old Dodd brothers home movie that is pretty much being disputed right now between Jason and my dad.
Yeah, well, okay, that would surprise me.
I'm John Dodd, and I am the creative genius behind most of the Dodd movies.
There's been a dispute going on for a long time between me and my brother John about who filmed that skit. He swears up and down he filmed it. He wasn't even there when we filmed this skit.
All right, well, let me, I do have some memories of Judge Roy Bean. You're going back 40 years.
The types of movies that I made with this camera were original science fiction movies, original documentary movies, and remakes from some of Hollywood's famous scenes. My favorite was a remake of a scene from John Huston's 1972 Judge Roy Bean. The scene where Bad Bob gets a hole blown through his back by Judge Roy Bean.
I can't even believe that this has gone on as long as it has, because it's just plain and simple he was not there.
This is a piece of gossip, a family feud that has been going on for way too long. I was the director of that scene remake of Judge Roy Bean.
He insists that he was, and I think he does it just to piss me off.
Who's Jason giving credit to this time?
It could have been my brother Jim that filmed it, could have been my brother Joe if he was home, could have been my brother Jeff who was in the skit, or my sister Louise.
Okay, well see now, if you'd have been conducting this research, this investigation 5 years ago, he would have told you that Jeff filmed and directed the movie. But as soon as he was reminded that Jeff was Judge Roy Bean in the movie, he changed his tune.
You've been researching some of the history of it?
Yes, I've pretty much trying to narrow it down to get to the bottom of this.
To get to the bottom of the mystery of who made Judge Roy Bean?
Yes.
My name is Lori Dodd, and I played the role of Lily Langtry in the movie. And I remember that John probably did the filming, because he did most of the filming of the home movies like The Exorcist and The Sting. And come to think of it, he actually was in part of The Sting, so he may not have filmed the whole thing, but for the most part he did most of the home videos. I remember specifically one of the reasons that we made the film was to recreate the effect of the gunshot wound. So, but the Judge Roy Bean was, in fact I have the original Super 8 of the movie.
The actual film?
Yeah. I'll look for that movie and send it on to you.
That would be great. Thanks. We're trying to see if Aunt Lori's package has arrived yet. Looks like we got a package. Yep. There it is. Awesome. Okay, so I just finished watching the original Super 8 film of Judge Roy Bean, and I found that there are credits on the end. They're kind of blurry and the camera's moving everywhere, and I don't have a pause button on this thing, so I'm going to have to bring it into the computer for further enhancement. But I'm pretty excited about this. This might be it. I brought it into Photoshop to try to enhance the picture a little bit, but unfortunately the credit in question is never fully in frame. So it cuts it off right at the bottom, and it can really be argued that it's John or Jim still. So this is not the conclusive evidence that I was looking for. My hot lead has gone cold really quick, and I think I'm just going to have to rely on people's recollections.
My name is Jeff Dodd. I played Judge Roy Bean in the skit Judge Roy Bean. I honestly can't tell you who shot the film.
See, right here, right there. All right, it's on the credits. See, it's all cut off at the bottom, but it could be a Jim or a John. That's what I think. But
I see it, and the only letter I can see is J. I can't make out the second or third. That could be an M or an N. It's a mystery. It's a mystery to me. I can't tell whether there's an I or an O for Jim or John, or a M or an N for Jim or John. So I don't know if it was Jim. I don't know if it was John. I simply don't know.
So we just left Jeff's house. Still not a huge breakthrough with anything. The credit thing didn't really work out the way I wanted to. But I did get in touch with Jim. So he said it was too late notice to get anything like a sit-down interview, but he did agree to a telephone interview, so I think that'll be pretty cool too.
Hello?
Uncle Jim?
Yes.
Hey, this is Jonathan.
Hey, Jonathan, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Doing okay. How's college going?
It's going pretty good. I'm actually in the middle of a documentary.
I know for a fact that I was not there when it was filmed.
Okay.
I mean, is there a kind of a claim to some monetary residuals on this film, or?
No, I think it's just pride.
Pride, there you go. Family pride.
Right.
All right, well, don't mess with family pride. You're treading into troubled waters.
Right.
All right.
Well, I've successfully narrowed it down to either John or Joe. So I guess at this point, the outcome or the answer to the question of who shot Judge Roy Bean really lies within Joe's testimony. And I just can't get in touch with the man. And I'm really afraid that if I don't get in touch with him soon, this mystery may go unsolved. At least until Christmas when he visits. But unfortunately, that's just a little bit late for this documentary.
Hey, Jonathan. Jonathan, it's Uncle Joe calling from Hawaii. Are you there? I just got your message about that Judge Roy Bean thing you're working on. But I don't think I'm going to be much help. I think it's cool you're making a whodunit documentary about an old Dodd kid film. But to tell you the truth, I don't really remember the one you're talking about at all. Which means it probably wasn't very good to begin with. It was probably made when I was off at college, which I don't remember either. But I'm pretty sure I must have seen it at some point during one of my trips home. I'm sorry I can't be more help, but I do know it wasn't me that shot it. I guess you'll narrow it down when you talk to everybody else. Well, I gotta go. Hope this helps what you're doing. Can't wait to see how it turns out. Let's do lunch. Feel free to use anything I said, but if you edit me out, I'm gonna be pissed. Okay? All right, see you in a few weeks, bro. Aloha and mele kalikimaka.